But when it comes to assessing and starting the engagement, we have two aims in the assessment because it's a two-way assessment. Are we the right fit for the client? Is the client the right fit for us? So that's the due diligence, if you like, or the initial engagement or pre-engagement assessment that goes on. Then after that is all about, okay, how can we help? And typically organizations, growing organizations, and even established organizations, the challenges come in the way of, have we organized ourselves in the best way possible? You know, are we responsive enough to the customer needs? Are we continually sensing the market and understanding what the new demands from the customer is? Do we have clarity on how we prioritize the work? You know, do we know what the priority rules are, and are these consistent and shared within the teams? Does everybody understand why something is priority 1 and something is priority 5? Because when we have that lack of clarity, then people make their own priority rules. Because if I don't know whether I should be working on A or B, then I decide myself. Or when everything is priority 1, which means there is no priority. So you can't say everything is priority 1, because the default is, well, okay, in that case, it doesn't really matter what I work on. I can work on what I want. Then is about alignment, because priority on its own doesn't provide alignment. Although we know what the priority is, when there is more than one team or even more than one person working on a solution, we need to put the constructs in place to create that alignment, to say, how do we know that we're all aligned on the same goal and purpose? Then it's about building the structures that provide us to communicate, align, and also, if you like, both share progress and impediments as we go along. Because impediments will always be there, they will come up, and we need to A, raise them, and B, we need to have a problem-solving method to say, okay, here's an impediment, how do we go about fixing it? Then it's about having the measures, you know, what is the goal of the engagement? What are we optimizing for? And what are the measures that inform us about how we're going about achieving that goal? And then we need to have that set of measures, not just the one that shows us what the goal is, but also a wider sense of measures, because there could be unintended consequences. So we need to have sense widely and be able to respond to change when the interventions that we're putting in place aren't quite working. And last but not least is about building a visual management system, because knowledge work is invisible by nature. So without having that visibility to see where the work is, where it's flowing, where it's stuck, and where our attention is needed most, and also what kind of decisions we have made, what sort of decisions need to be made, all of that is part of the wider visual management system that we need to put in place. So the assessment will basically assess the organization to say, where are they along these lines? Have they got a clear defined goal, optimizing goal? Are there a set of measures that inform how we're achieving that goal? Do we have a visual management system in place? What is the structure of the teams? Is it optimal? What are the handoffs and the delays that are caused as a result of the way we've organized ourselves? How are we meeting the customer needs? What is our time to market? What are the challenges in that? And how are we aligning ourselves as teams of agile teams? So that's what the engagement or the assessment will include.